My next patron question is from Sonia, who wanted to know about a recent animated film flopping and whether one specific aspect deserves blame for it. With the box office failure of Strange World, conspiracy theories are swirling again about how Disney let it flop on purpose and the marketing department is bearing the brunt of the blame. However, a part of me thinks that the marketing team is just an easy scapegoat for disgruntled fans. Do you think movie studio marketing teams got unfairly blamed for flops? Like Sonia mentioned, there were a lot of theories thrown around about why Strange World flopped, the main one being that Disney just left it to die for reasons. Unless someone was in Bob Chapek's office and listened to his discussions with marketing teams, there's really no way of knowing if that's factual or not. A common refrain was that there was barely any marketing on the movie. However, I've noticed that's something that's often thrown about why a film flopped at the box office. After all, there was a lot of marketing for The Flash, with Warner Brothers even somehow getting people like Tom Cruise and Stephen King to endorse it as one of the best superhero movies of all time. And yet that film turned into a huge flop. Funnily enough, The Flash opened the same day as Pixar's Elemental. That film had an underwhelming opening weekend by Pixar standards, which was blamed on a lackluster marketing campaign that did not portray the film very well, along with the usual claims that there was barely any advertising. However, it has had incredible staying power and has now easily beaten The Flash despite opening considerably lower than that movie. Elemental has even become the most successful Pixar film in South Korea. Regarding the supposed lack of marketing for Strange World, I personally saw a decent amount of marketing for the film, including pre-roll ads on YouTube and television commercials. So unless Disney decided to only market the film to me personally, which is extremely unlikely, they definitely spent a lot of money advertising it. I had a similar experience with another recent animated flop, Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. A lot of people said there was no marketing and Universal was letting the movie die, but I found myself constantly bombarded with commercials for it in the weeks leading up to release. I think in an age where people are watching less linear television and are relying primarily on the internet for information, what we're getting is targeted marketing. Basically, we're being advertised things the algorithm thinks we have interest in. A lot of people also use ad blocks, so they might only be finding out about movies and shows when other people, or maybe a news source they follow or subscribe to, mentions it rather than the advertisers themselves. I also think the truth is that a new film might not just grab the viewer's interest. It's as simple as that. Disney Animation themselves have even had trouble in the past getting people interested in going to see one of their science fiction adventure movies. Remember how Atlantis: The Lost Empire and Treasure Planet performed? Those films became cult favorites later on with the generation who did see those movies, but it took a while. The other thing to keep in mind with family films is how expensive it is for family to go to the movie theater these days. So you have parents being a lot more selective about what to take their children to and might choose to wait for streaming, something many likely did for Strange World. Disney's been trying recently to retrain audiences to see their movies in theaters rather than wait for streaming. I think the strong word of mouth and build-up Elemental's been experiencing is a good sign for other upcoming animated films Disney's releasing, like Wish and Elio. I do recall the release date for Strange World was also blamed on its failure, with some saying that Disney was focusing their resources on promoting Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and Avatar: The Way of Water, both of which were very successful. But similar to Strange World, Coco was released smack dab in the middle of a Marvel movie, Thor Ragnarok, and a highly anticipated sequel to a $2 billion juggernaut, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and still did extremely well. So Disney does have the ability to market 3 films at the same time. Ultimately, I think there was no marketing is just an easy excuse to explain why a film did not perform well. Now, you definitely have cases of studios not knowing how to advertise a film or burying a movie they have little faith in. Miramax and the Weinstein Company were particularly infamous for the latter way back when. But I think with Strange World, it came down less to a supposed lack of marketing and more audience disinterest and the knowledge they could very soon see it at home for a lot cheaper than piling the children into the minivan. Thank you for your question, Sonia.